Now this is how I looked in college, and then I decided to experiment with my hairstyles and all. I also experimented with beards and mustaches, to be fair.
But then I think simple is good, man. Simple living, high thinking, and bold is nice, right? Clean, neat, hygienic, and at the same time efficient. What do you think? Anywho, so this week we're going to be reviewing the LG G6. Last week we gave you a big first impression of the phone, and this week we're just gonna keep it short, the good and the bad. And the reason why I was talking about simplicity and high thinking, well, because LG believes in the same philosophy. They like to keep things simple, neat and clean, and at the same time efficient. And that definitely holds true with the LG G6 as well. Now this phone, I think LG has done a great job. It's the best phone that they've ever made, and it's a good phone, you know. And I'll say it's not the best in the segment, but at the same time it offers a lot, has a lot of potential, some cool new features, and it looks neat, man. It's like a utilitarian design, and I love it.
Now it still amazes me how a 5.7 incher feels like a 5 incher. I mean, I can actually grip this phone in one hand and use my thumb to operate the phone. Now, rather than the conventional 16:9 aspect ratios seen on most of the phone these days, LG decided to go with the 18:9 ratio that provides a taller panel in a smaller body. Now, most of the content is available in 16:9, which means you will get those black bars on either side. The G6 and its screen support standards like Dolby Vision and HDR10 for more vivid video. It's just too bad that finding content that takes full advantage of this screen is still pretty difficult, but hopefully we'll see more of it coming soon. Meanwhile, you get the volume rocker on the left, SIM tray on the right, audio jack on the top, speaker at the bottom, along with the USB Type-C port. And at the back is the good old power button cum fingerprint scanner below the camera. And that's where the position should be, right? Not adjacent to the camera, like in the S8. And yes, the scanner is pretty quick to recognize and to unlock.
I mean, yes, they are using the Snapdragon 821 processor instead of the 835. 835 is the latest one. 821 was launched last year, but that doesn't mean that the performance is bad, you know. This phone really performs well, and you'll face no issues whatsoever. And another thing to mention is that the other versions that are selling in the US and Europe would be getting a 32 GB of storage, and in India we're getting 64 GB. I mean, very small thing, but yeah, for the first time somebody is giving extra to the Indian consumers. That's nice.
Now there's nothing wrong with the Snapdragon 821. In fact, it powers the fastest Android phone in daily use, that is Google Pixel, and the G6 is a fast phone in just about every area. Lag is nowhere to be seen, and even high-powered games such as Mortal Kombat or Asphalt play without a glitch or dropped frame. There's huge improvement in UI over the G5, and a lot of that comes from that switch to a newer screen size. The camera haven't seen a huge improvement in the G6 over its predecessor, but there have been a few tweaks to the already impressive setup. One is a typical camera with 13 megapixel optical image stabilization, f1.8 aperture. The other one has a wider field of view, and the picture quality is great overall. But there are a couple of issues. While pictures detail is decent, on occasion colors can look a bit drab, and the dynamic range just isn't on par with other high-end Android phones. There's a fairly standard 5 megapixel camera for selfies and of course 4K video recording. Now the battery cell is rated at 3300 mAh, and it has always managed to get through the day, although not far beyond that.
Alright, so should you be buying the LG G6? Well, you can buy the LG G6. There's no harm. It's not a bad phone, you know. This design is not the design that you would want to flaunt. This is the design that makes more sense. This is a practical design. The chipset is old, but the performance is good. It's a good performer, let me tell you. The camera is nice. Battery, well, the more the better. So really can't talk about the battery that much, you know. We're never satisfied with the battery life. And otherwise, you know, the thing is that LG has the resources, the potential to make a great phone, and I think this is like the first step toward it. And I think in the coming years, you might just see a rock star of a phone coming from LG, the best in the segment. That can really come through in the coming years, but not now. The S8 is a pretty phone, the iPhone is a good phone, man, like always. And LG is a nice phone, you know. And if you're someone who doesn't want to follow the crowd, then buy this phone.